Good evening, everyone. I'm Gillian Acio. I'm going to take you through coursework to talent management. The question says, assuming you're an HR consultant, describe the HR practices and provide solutions to manage them. And it gave us practices like ethics in recruitment and selection, and there is in privacy in talent management. When we talk of ethics in recruitment and selection, when we talk of ethics, this can refer to the moral principles of fairness, honesty, respect, and justice throughout the hiring or recruitment processes. And recruitment refers to identifying and attracting qualified candidates for a given position. Then when we look at selection involves the process of choosing the most suitable applicant or the most suitable person for the position being advertised. So if we look at the ethical issues which we have things like discrimination and biasness, we have lack of transparency, we have misinterpretations of roles, we have nepotism, and we have there's also coerciveness in interview practices. And if we look at this, and we talk of discrimination, let me say, like in a leadership positions, most companies tend to have positions where they would say like women can't be in that position, and this really causes biasness. It creates biasness in the organization. Like if you advertise a job and you specifically say it is more hopefully you need a man for this position, and there is a woman there who is qualified with all the skills, with all the experience for this job, definitely they will feel discriminated and will not be able to apply for this job. And we talk of transparency. Let me say, when a company is advertising for a job, the company should really put out the job descriptions. What are the skills needed? What is this position? What are the roles the person is going to play in this job that they're advertising? Then we talk of nepotism. This can be practices of prioritizing personal relationship over merits. For instance, if you're HR is conducting an interview, and in here comes a family member, a friend to a daughter, or a friend's daughter, or someone has paid you some money, and in a pool of people who have come, this person really does not qualify for this job. They don't have the skills, they don't have the qualifications, they don't have the experience for this job, but because you have this personal relationship, there is this they've bribed you, you'll tend to like favor them and give them this job. You understand? You give them this job. Then if you look at the coercive interview practices, I think there's some during interview, for instance, the panel interview, there are certain questions that are really coercive. For instance, you are the panel and someone asks you, is your father still with your mother? These are personal issues. Someone asks you, which party do you support? Do you support movement? Do you support NUP? No, these are personal issues. It should not be brought during interview. It is really not good, and such practices not only harm candidates but also expose the organization to a significant legal liability. So what are the solutions to the ethical issues in recruitment and selection? Here we can have things like a structured and competence-based interview. We shall have building recruitment practices. We have diversity auditing. You can also have a realistic job preview. You can also have recruitment ethic policies and training. We have the panel-based hiring and conflict of interest declaration. So when we look at the panel-based hiring and a conflict of interest declaration. For instance, here the panel would rather do individual interview to reduce the influence of personal bias and favoritism. Here, it will require all hiring managers to declare any personal relationship with candidates to further safeguard the integrity of the selection processes. Or you can also have a panel you'll first tell the panel, like before conducting the oral interview, you'll get to let them know that I've brought in so and so is my person, and in this panel you're not the only person who is going to give this person a score during their interview. Then we shall also have a realistic job preview, like to counteract misinterpretation. Organization should also provide a candidate with balanced and accurate portrayal of the role. You should include the challenges or limitations that are really connected to this job. There should also be recruitment ethic policy and training. Organizations they should really formalize the policy in that senior leaders are always trained on how to do this recruitment. They should train them on the policies that they should follow. Not in that the HR will bring in someone because he's the HR, is going to bring someone, recruit them without really letting other managers know. They should have a panel of interviewers, and all these people should be able to interview this person. Let the manager operation give a score. Let the HR give a score. Let the personnel give a score. Let the manager credit give a score. Let every manager, let people be there at the podium. Let them give scores and let everyone have their own opinion about a candidate, not you, a single HR, bringing in a person and saying you have recruited this person. And there should also be blind recruitment practices. So when you talk of blind recruitment practices, this can be, for instance, in some organizations, when you do sit-down exams. So these sit-down exams, they will tell you it is carrying 75%. And 75%, during these exams, you are not allowed to put your name. You're always told to put codes. You pick the code to come in random. The power, it's there, you pick, and the code you pick is the code you're going to use to put on your paper, and you should keep it so that when next you're being given your score, you go and check and say, I was number so and so, I took this code and this is my score. And there is always a paper running around. You write a code next to your name, and these names are kept with someone, not anyone who among the interviewers know. They even get an external person to come and mark these interview tests. So that is what we call the blind recruitment practices. You don't let people put their names on these interview questionnaires or answer sheets. You really don't let them put their names there. So that is what we have about the solution to ethics in recruitment and selection. Then we also look at privacy in talent management. When you talk of privacy, it's the right of an individual to control information about them and to have the information handled with integrity. This is where the personal privacy, personal information, the personal information is kept personal and not available to everyone to access. And this is very crucial in organization. And if you talk of the privacy in talent management. Privacy in talent management has a lot of issues. For instance, we have the excessive or unnecessary data collection. There is also unauthorized access and data security breaches. Under the issues, we also have employee surveillance and monitoring. We have misuse of performance management data. There's also third-party data sharing without consent of the owner of the information. There's also excessive data retention. So if we look at these policy issues, when we talk of excessive and unnecessary data collection, for instance, if you come to an employee and you ask them, I want to take your personal data. For instance, how many children you have, how many wives you have, how many people are under your care. Provide reasons and to why you're asking these questions. Like, for instance, you've brought a machine, you want to capture their fingerprints, you want to capture their facial appearance or facial biometrics. Tell them the reason why you're capturing them. Could be you want to use it for their login and logout time, or you could be taking them because you want them to access a given room, or because it's supposed to go to their files, and if you talk over the unauthorized access and data security breach. For instance, if someone comes and say, I want to know things concerning this person's file, I want to know who is his wife, how many children he has, where he stays, how much is getting her salary. Let you know why are you asking for all this information. Be it is their supervisor, are they really allowed to access this information? Are you like in a bank, are you allowed to keep checking your colleague's account because you work in a bank and you have access into that system? Are you really allowed to access this or not? So we also look at the employee surveillance and monitoring. This really happens with people who do remote jobs. When you talk of remote jobs, you have people who work from home. Like, you be here on your laptop, and from nowhere your laptop is taking a screenshot each and every 30 minutes, an hour, or there is always a clicking that comes in. You're supposed to click OK if you're there, and of which after sometimes it pops out. You are really putting surveillance and monitoring the work of this employee, and this really increases stress, and it damages the employee relationship. Where monitoring is not disclosed to employee, it is both unethical and potentially it is really unlawful. You should let them know that we are really going to monitor you. We shall monitor you. We shall always take screenshots. Now, if you get someone doing something aside and doing other things aside, really they'll get stressed. They'll not be productive. Though this is supposed to promote productivity and accountability, it is really not good. And there's also an issue of misuse of performance management data. This one normally happens with supervisors. They call a supervisor, they ask, do you know about this person? Has he been performing? And this person was in a given department doing something else, and now comes to this other department doing something else, and in this department you've put the person, he or she is really good in this job, and you start accessing performance management data for a previous department where the person maybe was not well versed with the roles there, the kind of activities that take place there, and the performance was really bad. This is really not good. Such kind of data should really not be accessed anymore. There's also issues of third-party data sharing without consent. For instance, the payroll system. Not everyone is really supposed to access the payroll system, or the workers' benefits, or the recruitment agencies. You're not supposed to share anyone's data with them or them with another organization. That's certain data that you're not supposed to share. For instance, if a recruitment agency wants to recruit someone for a given company and they have called you to know how he or she was performing in a previous workplace, you give information, talk about just give them a verbal information about this person. If they were hardworking, what they were they doing better, then don't go into them. We're paid like this. You start sending their pay slips, those pay slip that shows the monthly payment. No, that is really not nice. And also the excessive data retention. This one could look at, let me say someone has been working with an organization and this person left the organization to go and work in another organization. Why are you still keeping this person's data? For instance, if this person was serving with you, was doing everything with you, I think when they leave the organization 3 months after or a month after them leaving, their information really should be removed from the system. The same way when in a bank where they do record keeping of the deposit and withdrawal vouchers, some say we keep them for 5 years, others keep them for 10 years, and they ban them. So there is that excessive data retention which has really become a privacy issues in organizations. So when we look at the solutions to the privacy issues in talent management, we have a solution like application of data protection principles. We have appointment of data protection officers. We have privacy impact assessment. There is also transparent employee privacy notice. We have a role-based access control. Then we also have a data retention schedule. We have proportionate monitoring practices. So when we talk of these solutions, what are we meaning with this? When we look into organizations should appoint data protection officers, people who are allowed to access employees' data and to verify who to have them, why to have them, and when to have them. Such people should be really put in place so as to protect employees' data. There should also be data protection principles. These are regulations that are going to be put against access of employees' data. The purpose and limitation, data minimization, the storage limitation, like the principles should be embedded into all HR processes, policies, and technology procurement decision. Organizations should really anchor their talent management practices in core principles of data protection, the laws, in that it should be lawful. It should be fair and transparent, as in to why do you really need this person's data? Are you really allowed to access this data? There should also privacy impact assessment. For instance, before implementing any new HR technology or talent management system, organizations should really conduct a privacy impact assessment to identify potential risks to employee privacy and establish appropriate mitigation measures. For instance, if you're giving a computer to an employee, make sure that this computer is not connected to another computer, in that whatsoever thing an employee is searching or doing in this laptop does not go to someone else's laptop. They don't share their information in their laptops with another third party that can access it. That one is really not good. It is really not good. It is like a strong data privacy issue. Then we like to proportionate monitoring practices. What do we mean here? where employees are deemed necessary, organization should ensure that it is proportionate. Like, you should let them know that you are monitoring them. Yes, they're working remotely, but let them know, put this in their contract. Let them know that throughout their remote working schedule, they are being monitored. Yes. Then we also, the data retention schedule, I talked about it. Like, for what period are you going to keep the information for an employee who has already resigned? How long are you going to keep this information? Then after you are no longer in need of this information, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to dispose it off? So that one is also really important. I think that one is our last point, and I would love to say thank you very much, and this marks the end of my presentation.